Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Class No Classics. This is episode number 1975. Yes, I finally reached this number. With this one, 25 to go before I reach episode 2000. Yep. And the 1869 Doubleshot. Now, with this one, we're discussing two Batman-related trades. First up is basically the third and final trade for Batman, Streets of Gotham, Volume 3, House of Hush. And as you can see, it's part of that Batman Reborn logo. Now, with reviewing this book, basically, in a way, I'm mostly done with the Batman Reborn stuff. Because everything else I pretty much reviewed except for I need to finish Outsiders, and I have not reviewed Robin yet. I think I may have reviewed Bird Spray, I'm not really sure. So, this trade is unique in that it actually skips an issue. No joke, it's completely 100% true. This trade skips a whole issue. The reason? Because it has nothing to do with the main story at all. Nope. This book contains issues 12 to 14 and 16 to 21. You might be asking, Nick, where the heck is issue 15? Answer, good question. It's not in the trade. Basically, this is your stories. You have Carpenter's Tale, Part 1 and Part 2. By the way, all these stories are written by Paul Dini. We have Dustin McNeven does issues 12 and 13. 14 to pretty much 21, except 15 are done by Steve Wands. From issues 14, pretty much the final arc of the series is House of Hush. So, Carpenter's Tale is basically a quick two-parter, which has Batman just dealing with a bar fight, and dealing with this girl who basically is a carpenter. It's all focused on her for this quick little two-parter. Yeah, that's really all this is. It's just a quick two-parter. Doesn't mention anything, but I still love the artwork. And then basically we get to issue 14, mind you. Now, I've already technically discussed the backup story for these two already. So, 12 and 13, not going to discuss basically backup stories. So, I'm going to discuss basically backup stories for issues 14, 16, 17, and 18. 15 technically doesn't have one because it's a full story. And 1921 don't have backup stories. So, then we get the House of Hush story arc with issue 14. Where where about 40 years prior to events this book, series we apparently look like I don't know, it says in Mr. Price where it's like, and basically there's a phrase in the book, I hear crime is new game in town. It's basically gangster stuff, and then we have this fantasy of Hush basically defeating the Outsiders. Yes, defeating the Outsiders along apparently Santana and Catwoman. Yeah, and it's all a dream sequence, except this is Hush and he's got the face of Bruce Wayne. You're probably thinking, why the heck does Hush basically have the face of Bruce Wayne? The reason? Because he hated it. Well, one of the reasons why is he hated the face his parents gave him. And two, he's got an obsession with the lifestyle of Bruce Wayne. Not obsessed with the man himself. No. He's not gay. He just basically wants his lifestyle. And by the way, we have guest appearance here by Katana. Yes, Katana's in this issue. Outside the dream sequence. We kind of go to like a flashback, mind you. Well, it looks like we run into John Zadara. Yes, John Zadara. Who I should point out, though, is currently deceased. Even the current continuity, he's still dead. What did he die of? I don't remember, but I know he died in Swamp Thing Volume 2, Issue 50. That's where he died. And strange enough, still dead. Though they have the issue 16 end with appearance by Jane Doe. Yes, Jane Doe, a Dan Slott character. Who, now, you probably think, okay, would the next issue be the next part of this? No, it's basically Two-Face. Discuss later. So, we saw the House of Hush, which is the final story of the series. Unintentionally, this series is mostly focused on Hush himself for most of the series, with the exception of like a couple issues, but mostly it just focused on him. So Jane Doe is basically deal with these gangsters. Of course, the big chubby guy. Mostly it's like gangster style issue. Then we have a woman. It's mostly like lots of gangsters. A little bit of Batman stuff with the Justice League, which apparently the lineup because of Batman, Santana, Green Arrow, Wonder Woman, Flash, and Superman. Now I think this is most like Santana going undercover. So you could say mostly part of this is focused on her, excuse me. Yep. And apparently we run into Harley Quinn of all people. Yes, Harley Quinn. Who then gets basically taken down. She's out. And apparently Selena runs into apparently Bruce Wayne. No, seriously. Bruce Wayne. Yeah, it's kind of weird. And you're probably thinking, how the heck is this possible? Is it really him, per se, in this issue? Kind of, yes. Yeah, and for some it's basically all about this whole thing about, if you're curious about Justin Pierce, yeah, he actually is somebody who's got history with Bruce Wayne. Yeah, and pretty much this whole story is all about him. And dealing with, well... Now you might be curious though, does the Bruce Wayne Batman make a physical appearance in the present-day stories of the House of Hush story arc? No, well, actually, he does appear in issue 2, which is issue 17. That's where he finally shows up in this damn series. Yep. Yep. That's better. So yeah, basically this is kind of a way of wrapping up this main story arc with Hush, with him, well, being Bruce Wayne, even though it's not really him at all. So, yeah, and then apparently they run into frickin' Dr. Death of all people. Yes, Dr. Death at the end of issue 18. Now you're probably thinking, Nick, who the heck is Dr. Death? Well, he's no Golden Age villain. Who apparently they made modern day into a enemy of the Cassandra, the Cassandra, the Cassie Kane Batgirl. Yeah, that's the thing with him. He appeared for a few issues of that. He mostly appeared sporadically. He did appear in the final few issues of the series. But most of all, he's not that big of a character. And technically, he was the first recurring bold villain in comics for Batman. He predates Hugo Strange. Excuse me. His real name is Carl Heflin. And he's been around for a long time. Now you're probably thinking, did he return for the current continuity, you might ask? Yes, he has. Yeah, but he was only there for a few issues before he got killed off. Yeah, and he was there in the 0 year issues. Yep. That's pretty much all they did with him. He appeared just in 0 year. He appeared just in like a few issues of 0 year, a couple issues of Batman the Grave, and that was it. Yeah, it's kind of weird of how the heck he appeared in this book. And then later on appeared in The Batman's Grave. Book done by Warren Ellis and Brian Hitch. Which also brought in the Flamingo. Yes. Yeah, in case you're curious though, who created Dr. Death? This might surprise you. He's a creation of Gardner Fox and Bob Kane. And you're thinking, really? Yes, really. Bill Finger did not work on the issue. Now, as to why he didn't work on the issue, no idea. Yeah, it's never been explained of why he didn't work on the next. He didn't create the character. But yeah, and then the last few issues mostly focus on Hush dealing with the Joker. Yeah, seriously. That's what we deal with for pretty much the next issue. It's basically Hush dealing with the Joker. And Joker's basically like the final villain you'll see for this series. Yes. But yeah, this House of Hush story is actually really good. I'm going to give basically the trade itself a 9.5 out of 10. And I like the fact we bring Catwoman in here and, of course, Dr. Death. But yeah, now discuss the backup stories in this series. Now, 12, 13, already discussed those. Let's talk about 14. 14 begins a 3-part story arc that involves Two-Face. Yes, Two-Face. And strange fun fact, this storyline is not in trade. And you're thinking, really? Why is it not in trade? The answer is, I have no frickin' idea. Yeah. To my knowledge, there's no reason why. Now, you might be curious, though. Who wrote this backup feature, you might ask? Yeah, Ivan Brandon. You might be thinking, who the heck is Ivan Brandon? Good question. Because he just does, like, I think this might be like his only story he ever did for DC. Because, well, yeah, he did this book. He did a story of Bat Black and White. Mostly, but he worked on the first wave books like Doc Savage. He actually worked on the second volume Man of War for New 52, Nemesis the Imposters, Final Crash Out of Escape, Face the Evil Cobra, Strange Sports Stories, Volume Number 1, which I believe this was the comic where they had CM. No, actually, it was not the story here. It was definitely the series, yes, but it wasn't issue 2. Because I remember there's actually one issue where it was done by CM Punk. Yes, he did issue 4. He did a story for that one, The Most Cursed. Yeah. Yeah, this mostly probably just focus on Two-Face. Just deal with the old gangster stuff here. It's actually pretty good. And apparently, for some strange reason, apparently the writer basically was getting beloved by the people at DC so much they gave him a whole freaking issue by himself. Yeah, here's issue 15, mind you. An issue not in trade for no apparent reason. Yes, this whole story, you could say that I deal with theory of why in the world they basically kind of did this, where the whole issue is focused on this. My theory is that the editorial team probably got word the book was getting canceled, so my guess is that the Two-Face story was actually supposed to be 4 parts instead of 3, and this mostly is kind of basically a combination of parts 2 and 3, and then part 3 was supposed to be part 4. That's my personal matter. The story is called Long Way Down. It's a pretty good multi-parter, and it does get resolved with issue 16. Now, 17 and 18, get this. They feature Ragman. Yes, frickin' Ragman. Excuse me. Now, this one's done by Fabian Nicieza. And this story arc is also not in trade for some strange reason. Yes. And here's the weird thing about this story arc. They actually have it end with a cliffhanger. And you probably were thinking that would they resolve the next issue? Nope. They did not. Do not know the reason for this. They basically just made the last few issues of the series just full-size stories and just dropped this backup feature for no reason. So most of this one is just basically You have Ragman dealing with various things in Gotham City throughout this one. The arc is done by Seisman Kurosky, who is actually really good here. Like here's basically how he draws Ragman himself. And let's see. Here you go right there. I gotta admit, this is actually really good here. And it's only just 2 issues. And that's it. Yeah. Now, the thing ends with an abrupt cliffhanger. And I've been trying to find exactly where the heck this continues in. Yeah, the story for this one. The only I can think of is maybe 80-page giant 2021. That's possible. I'm not really sure because I highly doubt, basically, because he is featured in one of the stories, but I don't think that's where it's continued. You were thinking, okay, where is it continued in? Honest answer, I don't really know. Because the story was basically discontinued before it got a proper conclusion. Yeah. That's the strange thing about it. Is that it was released in 2011. And the story arc itself was never finished. At all. It just, you have this quick 2-parter. Let's start with Merhedi, who appears in these issues. And that's it. Then the storyline just dropped for apparently no reason at all. Yeah, I don't know why. But in the case the actual feature for Ragman, it's actually pretty good. As of now, with this basically, I have pretty much reviewed Streets of Gotham. So, to the left, Outsiders, Red Robin. Final thoughts on the Streets of Gotham series. It's good. Just that the only problem is, basically, with the series, is that it's not entirely in trade. The collection process was never finished, and they never bothered to do it. Now, to this day, now here's the thing. It's been 11 years since the series had 11 years. I remember when the series was coming out, and I thought the series was quite interesting to read, and I thought it was a really cool concept. And then, after 21 issues, the book got canceled. I have heard the reason why the book got canceled was to make room for the tie-ins for Flashpoint. That was mostly the reason why the book got canceled. It's one of several books that happened with it. And to my knowledge, they've never... Now Hush himself, basically, his story is pretty much finished with the series, though he is brought back with New 52. I think he actually first appeared in the current continuity in the Batman Eternal series, where he was also occasionally featured in Arkham Manor. He's occasionally popped up over the years, and he's done sporadic stuff since then. Streets of Gotham is never a good series, and I'm hoping DC one day might actually do a proper collection of this thing. It's only 21 issues, and if you can do this time, please, love of God, basically not only collect all the issues, but the freaking backup stories too, because I'm sure people are very curious. Because you look up online, there's actually one story in the first 18 freaking issues. Well, the exception of 15 was the full story. Alright, moving on to the different book, we have JLA Volume 2. Basically, this is part of the Grant Morrison 41 issue run with Howard Porter in the artwork. Now, this trade itself collects 10 to 17 of JLA, along with JLA Secret Files number 2 and Prometheus Villains number 1. Prometheus Villains, that one shot, that's the debut of Prometheus. Mostly, yes. So for pretty much for the opening story of this trade, which basically is issue 10, basically you have them fighting the Injustice Gang. It's called The Rock of Ages. It's a quick 6-parter. What starts issue 10 wraps with issue 15. Which basically involves like them fighting a version of the Justice Gang, which I'm briefly taking over the Watchtower. Really cool story arc. And fires them from white, like his outfits turn white. But the opening story is actually really, really good. Yeah, that damn good. It's thoroughly enjoyable. Yeah, but here's the thing. By the end of the story arc, they actually disbanded the Justice League. The lineup they formed issue 1. And then with issue 16, they got brand spanking new lineup. Well, it's mostly Aquaman, Batman, Flash, Green Lantern, Huntress, Plastic Man, Martian Manhunter, Steel, well, Superman Blue, basically regular Superman, Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman's mother joins the team briefly, and Zor-El. Yeah, Zor-El. Here's the thing about Zor-El you might find kind of weird about this character. Did you know this character was supposed to be originally Hawkman? Yeah. That's the strange thing about this character. He was supposed to be Hawkman. But the thing is, the writers of the book were banned from using Hawkman due to all the confusion and continuity. So basically, they created the character out of nothing. First period issue 6, they officially joined the team until like issue number 16. Because 15, they practically decided to disband Justice League because of all the breaches related to the team. So now, if you're curious though, like how long was he on the book per se? For JLA, was it for 6, 7, came with 16, and was mostly there until Grant Morrison wrapped up his run. We also had an appearance by, of all people, Aztec. He's part of the roster too. And now Aztec himself is a character who's also creation Grant Morrison as well. And he first appeared in his own self-titled series that was quickly canceled after 10 issues. I read it, it's actually pretty good. For some reason in the current continuity, they actually decided to change him to it is a, how should I put this? They made Aztec to a woman. No, seriously, they did. And apparently she's no friend of the Ray. Yeah, Steve Valena brought her in. Yeah, and she was only part of the main Justice League American book with Steve Valena. She's popped up occasionally since then. She's a really good character. Yeah. By the way, Aztec's real name was Uno. No, seriously, that's his real name. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, in the case of these issues here, they also have the JLA Wildcats issue, which is a really good special issue, which is a Justice League team up with the freaking Wildcats in a brief crossover they have, which is excellent, by the way. The Prometheus one-shot definitely is his debut. Let me check this out here. Actually, it's New Year's Evil Prometheus. That's actually his debut. And he is a Grant Morrison character. Yep. As for Prometheus one-shot, just a one-shot for him. And most of it for that one-shot itself, it just... Here's kind of the weird thing. That one-shot basically... How should I put this? Basically, it wasn't the actual... Prometheus. Nope. That was a debut. That was basically appearance by the Imposter. I believe so. Just be sure about that. I just want to make sure about this one here. And the first thing you see when you open up the issue itself is Prometheus himself. Like, here's how he looked originally, before they changed him up. Yeah, that's what he originally looked like. Yep. Just want to check here. I believe this trade here does collect his very first appearance. I just want to be sure about that. Yep, it does. Yeah, this comic here, that's his first appearance. And this is what, when you first the first thing you see, you open the comic, there is Prometheus. Yes, this guy, who, oddly enough, his identity has never been revealed. No, seriously. Yeah, because that's the weird thing about Prometheus. No one knows who the heck this guy is. Yeah. And, of course, currently he's dead. Yeah. He got killed by Green Arrow. Get this. You could probably find this interesting. Like, he practically died 12 years after his debut appearance. Yeah, 12 years this guy was around for. And then, of course, they brought him back in the pages of Midnighter. Yep. But yeah, the Prometheus stuff is basically the last thing you see for this trade. But the trade itself is really good. I found the stuff even really good here. Yep, so that's pretty much it for Stick Love You, and I have no more time to review this night. Okay, with this trade here, I have 6 more to go, and I will done with JLA. Yep, next video. Bye.